Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to SevTech Ages. So, since last episode, I have been running mobs, and then I switched out the mobs and ran more mobs. You can see I've got a bunch of different mobs captured. The only one currently running over here is Enderman. That's mainly, I've just got them running right now just to keep up on mob essence. I could switch them to something else, but for right now I've just got them in there. I don't actually need any of their drops at present. And over here I've set up a small little system. This one it's a 3x3 spawning area, so if I want to spawn something like mini ghasts or spiders or something like that, I can spawn them over here. So just a single chamber for that, I think it's plenty. And then the mob essence is routed over and brought over to here to spawn ghasts and spiders, or whatever I want to spawn. And then I've got right here, I've got a fan pushing the gas over here. The conveyors don't actually do anything, but they make for a nice floor covering, honestly, because, I don't know, they just kind of hide some of the stuff away that's down there. I set them down there, and then the gas weren't really affected by them, so I was like, okay, well, I need fans, and then I just kind of left them there. But if I put spiders or something, it might help push them over a little bit better. And then up there, I've got another fan that pushes them down. If they're above the grinder, it'll push them down into the grinder. So, and that's what I've got here. And I've just got looting and sharpness 10 inside of this mob masher. So, over here, I did expand the amount of casting tables. So, right now we're backed up on ender pearls, but if I do use ender pearls, it's going to be able to, push them out a lot quicker from all this liquid ender right there. And then I've added floors, and I've been working on some of these, over here a little bit, bringing this stuff up. Over in the storage building, I'll show you what we've got. We have 81,921 ender pearls at the moment. We've got a ton of gunpowder because I was running creepers. We're also getting gunpowder from Ghasts, but right now it's actually getting voided. Armor shards from helmet crabs. I've got those. Blaze powder, slime balls, prismarine crystals. There's ender dust, weak blood shards, wither skull fragments, wither skulls, fish, creeper heads. I've also got some zombie heads. Not as many. I didn't run zombies for a long time because I didn't actually need the rotten flesh. But we have 233 zombie heads, 5.1 thousand skeleton skulls. Back here, I've actually got a bunch of armor shard clusters. So I went ahead and crafted up a bunch of those. I have to get all these smelted, and I'm going to be setting up, like a little automated smelting area, like an automatic one here soon. Because I want lots of night metal ingots, because I want lots of blocks of night metal for building. And this is something I was wanting to use for a while. Now that we're at the point where we can spawn and kill mobs and all that fun stuff, I do want to get a bunch of those for building purposes. Also in my inventory, I have prepped up a bunch of things. I've got a bunch of things here. A lot of them are pretty standard stuff. I've also crafted up 2 entity detectors from Cyclic. And these actually do require diamonds, but we have diamonds. So, also a trash void, a wither boss, death muffler, and then I have a bound blade here with looting 5 and smite 5 on it. So, today we're going to be setting up a wither kill system. Automatic wither spawning and kill system. Originally, I was planning on using Pneumatic for part of it, like the drones, but I ended up changing my mind because I just wanted it to be a little bit more compact than it was going to be with the drones and everything, so I decided we're just going to do this system. It's actually pretty easy. We'll knock through it pretty quick. There's one other thing that I do not currently have, and this is where I was going to use drones, but I changed my mind. I'm going to take the Wither Builder. One of these. And they're pretty straightforward to craft, just a bunch of wither-related materials. And it looks like I'm out of machine frames. Uh-oh. Luckily, I don't actually need any, at least for this part. I might need some for some of the stuff later on in this episode. Because this actually isn't going to take us very long to set up. It's pretty, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. But I got to hide that away. I will. But it's pretty straightforward, I think. So what we're going to do first up is we are going to, let's see, I'm going to have the Wither Builder setting. Well, let's go ahead and start with the castle bricks, and we're going to build basically just a, it's going to be a 3 wide, 5 wide. So we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I want it right there? Yeah, I think I want it right there, actually. And then we're going to build this up. Let's see. We'll have 1, 2, 3, a ceiling, and then the top. And the top, I'm actually going to go with, I feel like I want to shift this up by 1. Yeah, I'm actually going to shift this up by 1. So we're going to go all the way up to there, and then just build this out. This is going to be the ceiling of this, and we're just going to, I'm going to have to change up the roof a little bit more. I did clean up the roof from last episode. I haven't cleaned up this side. But I did clean up, I basically got to cut that back into a little bit of obsidian, but I will clean this up. I'm wanting everything up here to be pretty compact, because it's all just mob farm section of the base, and it's all like going to fit into this little small area. So let's see, we'll bring this out. It only needs to be like 3 wide, actually 4 wide, because this back wall is going to be just for machines and stuff like that. And we'll go ahead and do that. So it's going to be 4 wide. Yeah. And then we'll have the actual wither is going to spawn. Actually, this will be good. This will be just right. So let's see. We'll do another layer there, and from here out, I'm actually going to take the illumination wand and I'm going to turn these into unbreakable blocks. It's actually going to take a minute. I should have brought some liquid starlight to stand in, which means I need to get rid of the one over by the storage building, and I will. I'll remove that one. Because we won't be spawning withers manually anymore. And I did farm up a bit of soul sand. I think we have a couple thousand soul sand. It'll be plenty for now. Okay, so there we go. And then right here, I'm going to break this block off. And, oh wait. I actually did the wrong blocks here. I don't want these to be immune to damage. I want the ones in front of them to be immune to damage. So let me redo this. Okay, so there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and break this block here and the block directly below it. Oh, there's a pipe running there. I'll have to reroute that, which will be fine. That's not really a problem. And then right back here, I'm going to put in, setting right, actually right there will be good. I'm going to put in an automated user, and then I'm going to go ahead and just fill the rest of this in around it with castle brick, and just leave the bottom opened up like that. And we're going to go ahead and connect up HV wire to that, and we're going to say that this requires redstone. There's a tick delay of, we'll set it to like 4 or 5. It doesn't really matter. I'm actually going to say around 10. Yeah. There we go. That'll be good. It doesn't really matter, but that'll be good. And then we're going to say preview rendered. Let's set this to a 3x3 area, so it's going to cover all of that area in front of it there, which will be good. And we'll go ahead and turn off the preview. Vertical offset's good. And we're going to set this to attack, and we're going to say put this sword in here. Okay, so it requires redstone and 11 tick delay, 3x3 attack with the bound blade. Alright, and then I'm also going to have to set up an entity detector, and I guess we're going to put this setting, we'll actually put it right up here. I'm not going to set it up or connect it up just yet, but let's go ahead. We're going to set this down to just 1 for right now. And preview. I tell you what, I actually think I want the entity detector below it. And then we'll set this stuff down. And then we'll do the power running through the side here. I think will be good. So we'll go ahead and open all that up. Yeah, that should be good. And then we'll do our HV wire connector setting right there. And then we're going to set this to, let's say, preview displayed. And we're going to bring this out, no, let's do the Z coordinates. We're going to bring it out like that, so it's going to cover the interior of this. And we're going to set the Y up by 1. Okay. So there we go. That's the area that's going to cover. Is basically just the interior of our box that we're building. And we're going to set this to count at 0. And so if it's greater than 0, it's going to output a redstone signal. And we'll go ahead and turn that off. We're going to leave it to living. There's also items, experience, players, but we're just going to leave it as living entities. Okay, and that's pretty much the back section. That's all basically the attacking system and everything. So whenever there's a Wither in there and this has power, it's going to start attacking with the Bound Blade, and it's going to attack this whole area here. So, and that should be... Yeah, that'll be right up to the end of the area that I need. Okay, that's perfect. And we'll go ahead and turn that off. And then let's go ahead and just hide this away with Living Rock. And then we're going to hit this with the Illumination Wand. Which, of course, we've covered this before. It makes these blocks immune to being destroyed. And you can kind of see inside of that. That's fine. I actually quite like it. And then we're going to build out the rest of the box. We're going to go ahead and just bring out a ceiling first. Basically just building one big box right here at the moment. This is to contain the Wither, and having a block above it is important. Because if you don't have a block above, like, basically if the ceiling is only one thick, the Wither can fly out of it. So having 2 layers there is ideal. So that way the Wither stays contained. Honestly, I could have it butted up just against this. It doesn't matter if it's unbreakable or whatever. I will say the Wither can destroy castle bricks, but they're highly resistant to explosion. But inside of this Illumination Wand box, he's not going to be able to destroy anything. So that will be a-okay. And then we're just going to build out the walls here. And then we're going to add a floor. And we're going to put the floor setting right there. I'm actually going to break off this block right here. I want that opened up. And down below here, I want the Wither Builder put in setting right down there. Okay, so it's going to be right below the very center of the 3x3 box. Or the 3x5 box. So, and then we'll just cover that over, and we're going to Illumination Wand the floor. Because the Wither Builder actually builds up one block above where it's at. So the base of the Wither would be setting, right here, and then it would be built up. And then we're pretty much done. Let's go ahead and just put this side of the wall in. And the Wither will be fully contained within there whenever it's built. We don't have to touch it at all. So, okay, so now we're all set. Now we are ready to go. Okay, so let's pop underneath here. I still haven't put in the stairs just because I'm actually getting underneath this a bit. Right over here, the XP, you can see I've got a trash void. This is the XP from the Ghasts that are being killed up there. I actually have no use for it. So instead of bothering to route it back through, I'm just trashing it. Because I have absolutely no need for it at all. So, let me pop over. Let me get a few more fluid pipes, I guess. I'm actually going to have the HV wire relay coming down to right here. Or the HV wire. And I'm pretty sure that it can't transfer through pipes. No, it cannot. Okay, so we're going to have to route that around. That's fine. Let me pop over and get, 2 more pipes? 2 more fluid pipes. And we'll go ahead and grab that connection. We'll go ahead and put our transport pipes, just kind of route these around like that. And then we're going to connect that down and then just connect this over to that wire relay. And this now has power. The automated user has power. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have to attach power to the Wither Builder. And the Wither Builder, we're going to set this up. Let me actually pull off, maybe not that block. I've noticed whenever I take damage right now, I get levitation too. I'm not really sure what's causing that. I don't know if it's somehow that is giving me levitation or what it is, but something keeps giving me levitation too anytime I take any form of damage. So, not all the time though. I just took damage and didn't give it to me, but it's sometimes. Sometimes it'll give it to me. Okay, so we're going to put our HV wire connector setting right there on the bottom, and we're just going to run some power over like so. That'll be fine. And then right over here, we're going to set this to active on, or active without redstone signal is what I want. We want active without redstone signal, and then we are going to set up a output routing node setting right here. We're going to say that the, north side has a precise filter that is set to move over wither skulls and soul sand. We don't even have to put numbers in here. It's going to limit it to only hold 1 wither skeleton's worth of items. And then, right over here, let's go ahead, let's pull up like this block will be fine. And right here, we're going to put an entity detector right there. And we're going to have to set up the range. We're going to say that, I know the Y level, we want to raise that up to like a 3. Let's see, that's going to cover right inside of there. I'm gonna raise it up to a 4, so it reaches the top of the box. And there we go, and that should be good. We shouldn't have to change the Z and X coordinates, because it's going to check there in the middle, and that's the most important thing. I mean, the wither's big enough. It's going to find him if he's in there. So, because it's only 1 wide on the interior. So it's basically just big enough to build a wither. So that should be good. And let's see. Let's go ahead. We'll turn off that. We're going to say, once again, 0 greater than living entities. Okay. So if there's more than 1, or if there's more than 0 entities inside that box, it's going to emit a redstone signal, which means that this is not going to try to create a wither while that's happening. And the wither actually counts as an entity while he is, you know, in his, like, pupa stage, where he's, like, coming into being, basically. Okay, so then all we have to do is, this should have power, this should be good to go. Yeah. We still have to set up the item collection. Let me go ahead and grab this with the node router, so that we'll have this node saved. And then we'll set up a quick collection system. We're going to do a absorption hopper. There it is. We're just going to put this, it does a 7x7. So we're just going to put this setting like right there. And we're going to say that the downside is going to be fluid, and we're just going to do a trash void. I really don't need the XP. If I need XP, I can easily get massive amounts of XP from over there. So, and then we're going to put right here, we're going to put an obsidian chest. This is the east side. So we're going to say the east side is items. So send your items over there, and there we go. And that's pretty much the collection system. I still have to do an input node, and I'm going to go ahead and just put this right there. We'll be fine. And we'll connect that up here in just a minute. I don't want to connect it just yet, because I want to let this run and see, make sure everything's coming out of this, you know, that I've accounted for everything that can come from the wither. Okay, so that's pretty much it, I guess. I threw something down, but there is this. We're gonna set that up here in just a second. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that we need. So if we just connect up the output node that's doing the soul sand, I'll just pop over here. If we just connect this up to our output line, so right here, the input line, we connect that up, and there we go. We have a wither boss bar on our screen now, which is good. That means he has successfully spawned, and he should be about to leave his pupa stage. There we go. And you can see he's taking damage from the attacker. And you'll notice it's not going to try to spawn any more withers. After this one dies, we give it just a second here. Pow, there's another wither. And it's that easy. And you can hear the attacker starts to try to attack, you know, as soon as there's a wither in there. So, but that way it's not just attacking and wasting power and wasting power. That's basically it. But that way it's not wasting power while there's no wither in there. So that way if I toggle this off, it will stop wasting, you know, wasting anything really. And if we take a look in here, there's what we got. So I actually don't have wither ash going anywhere. And knockback scrolls I don't have going anywhere. I did put the withering souls into a drawer, but I haven't done the other things. Okay, now the wither boss sound muffler thing. We're going to go ahead and just set this up, and I'm actually just going to put it underneath the floor, because it's not really something I'm ever going to toggle off, because these sounds get annoying. We'll just put this right here, and it's going to stop doing the death sounds whenever the wither dies, and then we can right click here, and it's going to remove the wither boss bars from our screen. So we don't have to see that stuff when we're running through here. So now technically if you stand right up next to this, you will get a little bit of damage and knockback if you're standing right next to it, but it's not affecting anything within this room. You know, all of our power cables, everything is still ran. So that should be good. And then There is one other thing I think I'm going to set up, and that's a manual override for this. Alright, so right over here, I don't think that I have Wither Ash and Knockback Scrolls going anywhere. But I'm just going to put them into the same drawer that is handling the Withering Souls. I also have raw gas meat in here, and this is something I forgot to mention. I changed our food. We are no longer eating baked potatoes. We are now eating cooked ghast meat. And the reason being, if you take a look at this stuff, it's got a lot of saturation. So, an easy upgrade because we have gas running, and, you know, it's basically another freebie food. So, but we'll just drop our Wither Ash in there and our... Which is strange because the Wither Ash is not... Oh, I have Wither Ash right there. I'll tell you what, let me grab this. Now, set it down right there. Let's go ahead and unlock this. And there we go. We'll just pull out all the Wither Ash, because I'd rather have it in here instead. Okay, so Wither Ash is in there, and then we're going to put Knockback Scrolls into here as well. Those should stack up nicely. There we go. And they'll stack to 64, by the way. It's not like enchanted books. And that should be everything connected up. So let me just grab our output routing nodes. I guess I'm going to do it through here. Yeah. That's what I've been running everything else through, because I'm using void upgrades, so everything ends up going into a drawer anyway. So right up here, you can still hear the Wither like shooting explosives, which I don't mind that too much, personally. If we take a look inside of here, look at all the stuff that we've already gotten. Nether Stars, Wither Ash, Withering Souls. We're getting weak blood shards just to add to our horde, I guess. And we'll just connect that up, and there we go. And it's pulling the stuff out. Ta-da. And that's pretty much it. One thing I am going to do, originally I was thinking about having it have like a shut-off point, but I went ahead and I threw a bunch of storage upgrades into the Wither, and so I'm just going to have it be like a manual shut-off. Because honestly, I don't think it's ever going to reach a field point. Yeah, see, I'm floating for whatever reason. Okay, and I decided, I think what we're going to go with for the redstone control for this, to like shut it off, is we're going to go with a wireless receiver and transmitter. First I was thinking about maybe a sneaky lever, but I think I just want to go with a wireless receiver and transmitter. So let's go ahead and we'll just pop under the floor here. And the receiver, we're going to go ahead and set this down, setting right here. And then we're going to right-click this with our transmitter, just like that. And maybe it's a left-click on the receiver. There we go, save coordinates. Okay, it's a left-click, not a right-click, my bad. It does say hit this on. This is another, I think it's a newer feature. I don't recall it being in Cyclic in the past. But then if we hit that with a redstone signal, it should transmit the redstone down there. I don't know what's with this levitate. But there we go, the Wither's dead, and no more Withers being created. If we release this signal, shortly after, pow, there's a Wither. And that way we kind of have like a manual turn off for this. Because in truth, it's going to produce Nether Stars so fast that I'm probably going to end up shutting it off tonight. I don't know. Soul Sand, we could automate Soul Sand. There's a few ways that you can do that. Like right here, we could do it with, you know, ash, or wither dust, I mean, or, you know, all different kinds of stuff for soul sand. Also, you can automate it with Gallagher's. You can do it with the sludge refiner, with industrial foregoing. Starlight transmutation with nether wart. That's a really easy way to do it. But in truth, I don't really have much use in it, because I can honestly get about 3,000 soul sand in all of about 3 or 4 minutes, you know. And in truth, how many nether stars do we have? We have 71 at the moment. So, I mean, I know I'm probably going to need like a couple stacks once we hit the next stage, but honestly, with the soul sand that I've got, that's probably enough. I did set the stack limit on this up to 1,280, so if I decide to run a bunch through here, I can, you know, without it backing anything up. I didn't put a void upgrade in this because there's no reason to void nether stars. But I think a manual system should be fine, because I don't plan on going with like a nether generator or anything like that within this pack. So I don't even think there's the I don't even think that you can do the nether star generator until like the next stage, and there's really not a point in it in this pack. Yeah, that should be good, and I think that's gonna be fine for nether stars for the next stage, because I know we're going to use a bit of them for environmental tech, but it's nothing that this little system won't be able to handle. So that's it. That's basically it. Let me know if you guys have any questions about it. But I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. It's a lot of Cyclic, actually. It's a whole lot of Cyclic. The user, the entity detectors, the Redstone, yeah. And then we just ran power over and Wither Builder from Industrial 4 going, and that's pretty much it. And this block, basically, like I said, it only takes... let me actually get up under here. It only takes... Well, no, that's still not where I want to be. It only takes enough for a single craft. It's not going to take more. That's why you don't have to limit how many items come into this. And, you know, having it set to immediately detect whenever there's an entity, it means that it's never going to waste any of these resources. So redstone is kind of important for that, because otherwise you just end up wasting materials. Because it doesn't automatically detect if there's a wither there. It can actually build around that wither, and then the wither just blows up the soul sand, and then it puts more down, then it blows it up, and it puts more down, it blows it up, and so on. So I just realized I didn't fix these right. I was wondering why my gas quit running. They were basically just running around in a circle, the fluid essence was. So now it should be able to transfer properly. There we go, and we should have gas spawning again. My gas had stopped, and it was just basically just circling there. Whoops. So anyways, that's done. And that's, I mean, we pretty much have the ability to spawn any and every mob up here, I'd say, for the most part. I mean, I might need a bigger area to maybe spawn Shoggoths. I did capture Shoggoths, but I don't really have much use in the Shoggoth flesh. But I don't know. I think this area might be able to spawn them, because I imagine at least a 3x3 or a 3x3x3 they should be able to spawn. So I'm pretty sure that we can pretty much spawn everything and anything in here. But anyways, let's take a look. How many nether stars do we have? We have 81 in counting. And it dawned on me, I think the levitation is from the Ghast flesh. Every time I eat it, I think that's why I'm levitating. So that's what the levitation 2 is from. So I may end up switching back to baked potatoes or something. We'll see. I will say, I think early in age 5, or maybe not early, might be a little ways in, but I think we can get nanobots, which will solve our food problem forever, you know. And one other thing that I want to mention, I'm not actually going to make it, because I have a Cobbleworks, you know, with Astral Sorcery, and it's working. It works fine for my needs. There is, right here, the Material Stonework Factory from Industrial 4 going. Just a heads up, if you want a good Cobbleworks, this is an excellent Cobbleworks, because it can actually, you know, smelt, it can craft, it can break things down, it can do all that within a single block. It's a lot like the Ender IO. It was an Ender IO add-on. It was the machine, I don't know, something from one of the Ender IO add-ons from back in 1.7 that basically had like the multiple operations. This thing can do the same thing, but it can do like 5 operations. It's kind of like an expanded on one of those. It's just not as fast, but it's very, very effective if you want a good Cobbleworks. But I have the Astral Sorcery one going, and you know, it keeps me stockpiled on stuff. I have 24,000 stone. I run it for sand every so often. I don't run it constant for sand, but I have like about 2,000 sand. And then if we pop over to the blood magic area, oops, wrong one. I need to get those pictures in. At present, I have 658 stacks of blank slates, just to give you an idea. So, I mean, we've got tons of stone, in truth. But anyways, that's pretty much it for mob grinding related stuff. I mean, we pretty much have all the mob grinding that we need. 189 nether stars at the moment. So, I mean, I think we're good on that stuff. And we have, you know, all the ender pearls, blaze powder, all that stuff coming in as well. So, or stocked up on all of it. Honestly, I probably won't even need to run mobs for like the rest of the pack. I'll run nether stars for a bit longer. I mean, I'm still good on soul sand, 1.5 thousand. I'll probably run till we have maybe 500 nether stars or something, and then, you know, that should be good. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do, I want to switch over, and we are going to push on with some of our quests here into the Galacticraft stuff. Okay, and the first thing that we need to do is make a compressor from Galacticraft. And we looked at this the other day, you know, because we almost got into it. Aluminum plate, soulforged steel anvil, which I've got soulforged steel, and then we're going to need some of this ender alloy advanced. So shulker shells, purple blocks, end rods. I should have plenty of that stuff now, so I'm going to go ahead and get like 20 purple blocks, and then the shulker shells, we'll get like 5 of those. And then Eyes of Ender, 5 of those. And that's going to make us enough advanced ender alloy for our needs. And I'm also going to grab our soulforged steel that's over here. I'll go ahead and just pull that stuff out. I can whip up. I'm going to go ahead and make like 2 anvils, I guess. So we can have, 2 compressors. I'll probably end up making quite a few of these just to make the whole process faster. Now, there we go. Yeah, it's from when I'm eating. Probably change that over to baked potatoes just because that's going to get really annoying. Like really, really quick. Aluminum plates. I've got these. Go ahead and get 8 of those. And advanced ender alloy. Get that stuff going. Now in Project Ozone I had this stuff automated. I don't think I'm going to automate it. I was debating with myself, like, do I want to automate all the different like compressed plates so that we kept like 4 stacks or 8 stacks. I don't think we really need to. I mean, I know we're going to be making a bunch of ships and stuff. So aluminum plates, ender alloy, soulforged steel. We're going to need some pistons, which I think I've already got those crafted, and then just make up a couple furnaces, and we'll get a couple nether furnaces. And then our compressors. Go ahead and just dump this stuff. And there's 2 of those. And under pressure advancement. Okay. So that stuff is done. Now the next thing that I want to make is, if we take a look at the NASA Workbench. I want to make this just to get it out of the way. Engineering processor, logic processor, basic crafting table, none of that stuff's a problem. The main thing we're going to need is the compressed steel. And then printed circuit board, assembly I/O, I can do all that stuff. So compressed steel, that's just 2 steel makes compressed steel. And I'm going to go ahead, actually, if we take a look at the compressed stuff, we have compressed copper, tin, aluminum, steel, bronze, iron. Okay, well let me pop over, let me go grab some stuff to start compressing. And I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do like a stack of iron, like compressed iron plates, and then we'll do a stack of steel plates. I'm going to need to make more steel between episodes. It's not a problem. It's fairly easy to craft. And I'll be able to finish out the mob room. I was waiting on the windows and the stairs just until we got the rest of the mob grinding related stuff into here. But now all that stuff is in place, so I can put the windows in and stuff. Right up here is going to be our Galacticraft room. So I've actually got power ran up through an HV capacitor connected up right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use an energy extraction cable and just pull energy from that point and just run this stuff out. And this is where we're going to have our machine shop, basically. And out of curiosity, if I put a compressor here... Oh wait, these are the ones, these aren't the electric compressors. Okay. For some reason I was thinking these were the electric compressors. I'm used to using those and going straight for those. But I don't think that they're actually craftable yet. I'm used to going straight for that, it's crazy. Okay, so yeah, we'll just go with, we'll put the compressors down like right here for right now. These will just be temporary until we get electric compressors. So, a couple stacks of iron, get that compressing. And then over here we'll do a couple stacks of steel and get that compressing. And these aren't terribly fast either. They're a little bit slow, in fact. But the first things I want to craft, it's going to take 3 compressed iron, and then we're going to need 4 compressed steel for the NASA Workbench. Then I've got to pop over, I've got to get a printed circuit board. Well, anyways, there's our compressed steel. And we'll let that keep running. We should have plenty of those. If we do like a stack of each, we should have enough for what we're going to need for this age, I think. And I will still probably use drones somewhere. I just haven't decided where. Because the normal stuff that I use drones for would be like farming, mob killing, quarries. I've done quarries in the past with them. But so much of the stuff, it's so late in the pack that so much of the stuff that I would use them for, they've already given us other methods, to do that, like cloches and stuff in age 3. It's crazy that stuff is age 3 and not like cloches. You would think they'd be like age 5 or something. Okay, so the NASA Workbench, let's go ahead and knock this thing out. Assembly I/O unit, pneumatic cylinders, I don't know if I have those or not. I'm going to go ahead and just make some. Cannon barrels, we're going to need 3. And then pneumatic cylinders, we're going to need 3. Assembly I/O unit, there's that. And then we're also going to need a basic crafting table. We're going to need... No, I actually want the other recipe. Let's see, this is 4. Okay. I want the luminescence one. Okay, so basic catalyst, and then we're going to need... Oh, I actually turned this one. I didn't need this one. Okay, I gotta go make another tungsten plate. Or black iron plate. I made up a bunch of black iron a while back, and we've actually got a bunch of that, because we've been using so many of those crafting tables, and I know future crafting grids and stuff, I'm going to need it too. So we got a little over 2 stacks at the moment of those. Which, honestly, I think that should be enough for us, at least for a while. Okay, and then I'm also going to need 2 crafting tables. There's that, and there is our basic crafting table, and then our NASA Workbench. Oh yeah, it's in the Ender Crafter. Oops. Go ahead and just grab all this stuff. There we go. And we're going to throw this into here. And then these are going to start crafting. You'll notice they get like little ender particles, and they're slowly crafting our NASA Workbench for us. Awesome. And then we also have this. We're going to need 3 blocks of iron. I'm going to go ahead and get that stuff together. This is our launch pad. And I think I've actually got the, yeah, I've got the blocks of iron in here. I made up a bit of these too, because I was using them for, oh, it was for something in the mob, I think it was in the mob area that I was using them for. Oh yeah, it was these iron spikes for the mob mashers. So, here we go, moment of truth, NASA Workbench. Okay, and the Space Program Foundation Advancement. Woot. And let's go sit this thing down right inside of our space program room. So we'll just put this in like right here for right now. And there we go. There's our NASA Workbench. Done. Okay. And then we can go ahead and craft out our launch pad. There we go. Rocket launch pad. This is actually going to go up on the roof once I get the roof of this done. So it's going to go up here. For right now, we'll just set it down, you know, right here. So a 3x3, and it's going to form together, and you'll notice that one's a little bit taller. That's our rocket launch pad. I will say, once we get into the extra planet ones, their launch pads look a little bit nicer, but these ones are pretty standard. So, okay, so that's done. Yeah, there's the end of the age right there, to the moon. Alright. Okay, so next up, the fuel loader. We need to make this. And a lot of this stuff is going to require other types of compressed plates. The fuel loader requires compressed copper, compressed tin, then a tin canister, which is just 10 ingots. We're going to need a lot of these engineering processors, aren't we? Should I just make a bunch of these? No, it's literally just the fuel loader and the NASA Workbench. Okay, well, then I've still got those other plates running, the compressed plates. There's also the, right here, the oxygen. Oh, to create Galacticraft fuel, you'll need to combine kerosene and oxygen in an immersive engineering refinery. That's right. Oxygen can initially be collected by the oxygen collector. So right here, Galacticraft fuel, we are going to need a refinery to make that. Liquid oxygen and kerosene makes fuel. Okay. Alright, well give me a second. Let me get the stuff together for a refinery. And I guess we're going to stick this up in the Galacticraft room. Actually, give me a second as well, because I'm going to switch from baked potatoes back. I'm actually going to switch back to baked potatoes, because I don't want to levitate anymore either. So give me just a second. I'll be back here in just a moment. Okay, I went ahead and actually set up a third compressor. I'm not running anything in here right now, but we're about to be. And then I got a refinery set up, and I went ahead and plugged up a kerosene output node. I'll probably end up changing it over to a fluid hopper. I just didn't have one on hand. I might... Let me actually check. I might have a fluid hopper. I'll craft one later, because I'll have to hop over... Well, actually, I might have the stuff in here to craft a liquid hopper. Maybe? No, I need a gear. I've got the gears made. I'll pop over there here in just a minute and craft it. But anyways, I've got some compressed bronze, compressed aluminum. I'm doing a whole stack, but it's still running at the moment. But let's go ahead and craft up a couple things, then I'll get a liquid hopper made the next time I pop down there and I can grab a gear. But I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, in truth. So if we take a look back at the oxygen stuff, we're going to want an oxygen collector, oxygen compressor. I'm actually probably going to get 2 oxygen collectors if they're not too expensive. Can we not do oxygen pipes at the moment? I'm thinking that we can't, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, we can't. Okay, so I'm just going to do 2 oxygen collectors then, since we can't do oxygen piping for some reason. So these, they're compressed steel, compressed aluminum, oxygen concentrator, which is oxygen vents. We actually need a few of these. An oxygen fan is an Invar gear. Okay, let me go ahead and get... let me just dump this stuff into there. Oxygen collector, oxygen vents. Let's go ahead and get 4 of these. And then we're also going to want a bunch of these tin canisters. Let's go ahead and just get 18. Sounds good. And then we're going to need, what, 2 Invar gears. That's a perfect reason to pop down there and get a bronze gear, actually. And I think, I want to say I've got some Invar made up. I think I might actually have to make some. Yeah, I don't have any Invar. Okay, so I'm just going to get, like, that. We'll get a half stack of nickel and get that stuff running. I'm actually just going to take all these bronze gears over to the RS system. Okay, so the liquid hoppers, I want one of these just to speed up the kerosene. I don't think it's going to be much of an issue even if it is slow, because the fuel, we're only going to use it pretty much whenever we first go to like a new planet. Is like the only time that we're going to really be using the fuel, I think, but that's fine. While we're looking at oxygen stuff, let's go ahead and make ourselves some oxygen tanks. And I think I'm going to make them, we're going to do it with black wool. So compressed copper, tin canisters, and black wool. Let's go ahead and get, I'm actually going to go ahead and get like 4 of these. I think. Maybe 6. It's nice to have extras, in truth. Because if you start running out of oxygen on the moon or whatever planet, that way you have some spares to switch back to. Now luckily we have this right here, so we can warp back and forth like at the flip of a switch pretty much, if I need more oxygen. But still be useful to have that. Let's see, we also need heavy duty plates, which are compressed bronze, aluminum, and steel. Let me go ahead and get like a half stack of steel. That'd be half stack of heavy duty plates. I think that'll be good. And then we'll need a half stack of bronze. I'm going to have bronze over there. I'm going to go ahead and grab this just in case I don't have all of it done. And then the aluminum. That is correct, right? Yeah, steel, bronze, aluminum. We're going to want to start making that stuff. So, and let me check on our Invar. Let's see if our Invar is done. Honestly, going into space, it's just a lot of crafting. Just a whole lot of crafting stuff. I needed this stuff for making, let's see, the oxygen fans. And, okay, these are only needed for the collector, so there's no reason in making more than just 2 gears, honestly. So I'm just going to put the rest of this Invar up into there. It'll be next episode before we actually go to the moon, and we'll do like a final checklist and all of that stuff. We're just kind of getting all the basis stuff in, because I don't think there's really much else in Age 4 that I want to hit right this second. I mean, there's still some stuff from Age 4 that we're going to hit in Age 5. You know, like advanced generators and things like that. But I think for the most part, everything I want right this second, we've done. Okay, so our oxygen fans, we're going to want 2 of these guys. There we go. And then oxygen collector, we're going to need a couple of these oxygen concentrators. That's why I went ahead and made an extra fan for each collector. There's those, and we are going to have to make more because I need more of these oxygen concentrators, actually. Oxygen collector, go ahead and just dump that stuff. There we go, and what am I missing? Oh, aluminum. There we go. There's 2 oxygen collectors. And we got an advancement. Oxygen is included. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually start making some fuel. Let me actually get an oxygen compressor too while we're over here. So this right here, it does require another oxygen concentrator. That's not a problem. And oxygen compressor. There we go. And now we can pop over. And, you know, I'm actually not sure. I know in the past Galacticraft was horrible about being very side-specific. And I'm actually kind of curious to see some of the changes with Galacticraft. And I hope making things less side-specific was one of the changes. I'm really, really hoping so. Okay, so oxygen collectors. When you're in the overworld, you can just put these wherever. If you're in space, you need to put leaves around them. But for our purposes, we can just put this down, setting... let me actually see how this thing places first. Okay, it looks like it's still very side-specific. There is a wrench now from Galacticraft. Standard wrench, bronze, and steel. Okay, let's see. This stuff is done. Let me go ahead and grab this. And I need more compressed steel. I'm going to go ahead and grab like another... Well, you know what? I actually need more steel, like, right now. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, like, 6 stacks of iron. I think I've got enough coal coke dust. I think. Maybe. Okay, actually, I don't have any coal coke dust over here. I might have some in the system, but what is this visual bug? Okay, whatever. I do have some coal coke over here, which will be plenty... for making a few stacks of steel. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff running through the crushers. I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff running because we're going to need to start making the heavy-duty plates. So I think it's steel down here, maybe? Bronze, aluminum. Yeah, it may not even matter at this point. So anyways, we're going to get that stuff running, making our heavy-duty plates for us. A bit of those. And I've got some more, you know, I've got a bunch more steel running, and then I've got more steel compressing at the moment. And then the oxygen collector. Okay, so basically power comes in, should be on this side. Power goes out that side. I could make a wrench, actually. And that's something I'm curious about, the Galacticraft wrench, if it can be used to maybe change up the sides. I'm going to need more bronze. Let me grab a piece of that. And we'll grab our standard wrench. There we go. I wish it would quit popping up that all the time. No, it's just used for rotating. Okay. Well, c'est la vie. We'll just put this down right here. And we'll have power come in right there. Is that not where the power comes in at? Power comes in right there. Okay. And go. That's weird. It's got power right now, even though it's not connected up. And if I was to take and set up maybe the oxygen compressor, and we'll just put this setting like right there, I guess. I hate Galacticraft because of the lack of being able to set any kind of sides for anything. Let's actually move this over to right here. Well, maybe we can pull this out. So let me actually grab this. We'll set it down like right there. I'm going to go ahead and start putting oxygen tanks into this. It's going to run out of oxygen, that's fine. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to move that in just a second. But this right here, I guess maybe we could pull this out with pipes. And so if I put this like right here and rotate it to like right there. And then if I had like, oh yeah, I've got this. Let me go ahead and put this right there. Okay, well, let's at least go ahead and plug this up. So we're going to put the oxygen collector sitting right there. Let's go ahead and just rotate this. I want it facing like that. And then we're going to move over our oxygen compressor. And we'll go ahead and rotate that like that. Okay. And then, I hate these sides for Galacticraft stuff. And then we'll just plug this up with power and go. I should be able to get power, right? Oh no, okay, there we go. I had it on the wrong side. Now it's getting oxygen built up, it's getting energy built up, and this one over here is not getting oxygen. Let me rotate it. Still not getting oxygen. Will it not? Oh man, this is all sorts of jank. Because, like, okay, this is getting power now, but it can't send oxygen over. And if I rotate it like that, and then I rotate this, now it can get oxygen, but it can't get power. Okay, for some reason this can just, it cannot get power and oxygen like it's supposed to. For some reason. Yeah, that's not the source of power right there. So, okay. Whatever. Yeah, say like, okay, energy storage is going down, but it's getting oxygen. This one's getting, it's giving out oxygen, but energy storage is going down. If I rotate this, it's going to start getting power, but it's no longer going to transfer oxygen. Okay, if I rotate this around, it can get power, but it can't get oxygen. Rotate this around, you know, it's still not giving oxygen. This has to face in this direction. Okay, I've got to figure out a way to transfer oxygen to this. Okay, right here, fluid pipe. It's now called fluid pipe instead of having an actual oxygen pipe. You have just a fluid pipe that handles fluid and oxygen. Okay, that's a little bit strange, but yeah, we're going to go with it. Anyways, Galacticraft, as you guys will see, if you're not familiar with it, Galacticraft is an interesting mod. It's got some fun mechanics, like the whole like building in space mechanic is fun. The exploration is not terribly exciting, especially with extra planets. It gets really, really mundane and repetitive, which sadly that's a lot of H5, but we're going to try to like spread it out a little bit so it's not just exploring every single episode, you know. So maybe if we put a fluid pipe right here. Oh, this is all kinds of weird. Okay, it's crafting fuel, but it's not going to be able to get power when it's facing in this direction. Yeah. For some reason, it's the power side and the output sides are on the same side for the oxygen collector. which is causing a little bit of issues here, because just nothing will work like it should. I don't know. But anyways, we've got our filled oxygen tanks. Those are filled, and we're creating fuel for use with Galacticraft. So, good. I don't know, maybe we'll figure it out, but I always have issues with the sides of these. They're a big mess, and there's no way to like customize the sides, so you have to like put machines in random weird directions, and it's a headache. One of the biggest flaws with the Galacticraft, and it's sad to see that it's still not fixed, because I know a lot of people had issues with that. Okay, yeah, I've messed with these for a while, and just, they're not going to get power and output oxygen at the same time. It's just not... It's not going to be a thing, so we're going to have to just rotate them. It may have to do with the energy cables from Cyclic, maybe. I find it odd that... Because, I mean, it's plugged in right there, but it's not receiving power until I rotate it to where it's not plugged in. I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, we've got... right here, I've got 32 heavy-duty plates, the tier 1 ones. And let me go ahead and just grab this stuff. And let's pop back over, and... we're going to craft up a few more things before we end out the episode today. And then next episode we'll come back. Most of the infrastructure is going to be here. And then we'll just have to do like the checklist. Get the armor crafted up. That kind of stuff. Like the armor and the accessory pieces and all of that. But first up, I want to get a fuel loader right here. Compressed copper, tin canister, compressed tin, compressed copper. There's that. Did go ahead and make another of the engineering processors. So that's knocked out, and we got the filler up advancement. Which means this is all we've got left. These 3 for this age. And we might actually go ahead and build our rocket just to get it crafted. We won't take off, and honestly it's probably going to get moved before next episode, I imagine, but that's okay. To make the rocket, we need 4 rocket fins, which are just compressed steel and heavy-duty plates. And so, let me just go ahead and throw this stuff into there. 4 rocket fins. And then we're going to need a tier 1 rocket engine, which takes oxygen vent, flint and steel, and a button. Let's go ahead and get this. There's our tier 1 rocket engine, and then we need the nose cone. Will be the last thing that we need. So that. And then we're also going to need 8 heavy-duty tier 1 plates. So let me grab... I'm going to have 1 left over. So it was almost a half stack of heavy-duty plates. I don't know if there's any other things that we're going to need to craft with these at the moment. It looks like... yeah, that's going to be the tier 2 heavy-duty plate. We're going to have to tier them up. So, but yeah, that looks like everything at the moment. I will say between episodes, I'm going to craft up a bunch of steel and make a bunch of steel plates, aluminum plates, bronze plates. Those 3 are going to be the main ones that we need a lot of, because we're going to have to craft, like, every planet that we go to, we need to craft a new tier of rocket and a new tier of armor and so on. Like, we're going to have to do it each time, but anyways, let's go ahead, and I believe we can actually shift-click this in, I think. No, we cannot. Okay. I couldn't remember. Oh, that's right. We can just shift-click right here, and then it puts it in. Alright, so there is our Tier 1 rocket from Galacticraft. And advancement. I don't know why it's lagging, because it's not the H5 advancement. It might be unlocking, like... what? Oh, apparently we hit H5. And that's because one time... Oh, man. One time, whenever I was using this, the Celestial Teleportation, I accidentally teleported to one of, I think it was Faraday's teleports. I think it's this one. Maybe Free Chi is here or something. That was the moon. And I teleported over there and then teleported out really, really quick. And so it counted that. So technically, now we're in H5. But we're not gonna get into any H5 stuff. I didn't understand I haven't understood the Celestial Gateway teleportation because there's this, the AEP, which I think is like way better. But anyways, so we're not gonna count that just yet. It's kind of a bummer because I like getting that as dun dun, and now I got all this like clutter right here. Okay, well, anyways, we got our rocket, and then all we have left is the sharp-dressed man. There is some other stuff that we're going to have to craft before we head to the moon. And if we put this down, and it's kind of cool because you can actually, like, He-Man your rocket around. But if we set this down right there, that is our rocket ship right here. And if we put down, we'll go ahead and put down our fuel loader, like right... I'm actually thinking about moving this over to here. And I wonder if this is going to be able to output... yeah, energy is plugged up. It maybe has to do with these pipes. They're all like really backwards. Let's see, let me pull up our launch pad here. And I guess we're going to set this down right here for right now. This is just a temporary spot. Hopefully by next episode we'll move this up to the roof before we actually launch. But for right now, we can take this. It's got energy. And if we take and we get ourselves just a few buckets of fuel, and we toss these into our fuel loader. I'm going to have to rotate this thing, so I didn't even worry about... It should actually sit right here. But since this is like all sorts of bugged, and we have to rotate this around... Okay, it should be filling it right now. And if we take a look here, yeah, we're almost 100% filled on this. Awesome. And we got a countdown up there. Of course, we can't... I guess technically we could launch, but I don't want to launch yet. I don't want to launch to the moon just yet. So technically we could, but it would be a bad idea to do so. Alright, so I'm just going to leave this setting here. We don't actually need the fuel loader at the moment. Does this thing retain fuel? I can't remember. It does not. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. This is all going to get moved, so I'm just going to set this right here for right now. But technically we could launch our rocket ship. But we need to get the Tier 1, this stuff right here. Yeah, Tier 1 space suit, all this stuff. We have to get this first. Which isn't terribly expensive. It's just a lot of crafting. Aluminum plates to make Tier 1 armor layers. I think the jetpack chest plates are... Yeah, that's Tier 3. That's later on. I've got all this Tier 5 stuff. I didn't want this yet. But yeah, I'm going to need like 8 of these. I'm going to craft these up off camera. And then we need pressure layers, which are oxygen concentrators, which we've crafted with some wool. Radiation layers, which are lead plates. I'm probably going to get most of this stuff crafted up, and then we'll just put it all together next episode, get that crafted. And then we're also going to have to get these right here, like the oxygen mask, the oxygen gear. We'll get into that stuff next episode as well. But anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode, so we're going to end it out here. Next episode, when we come back, we'll get the spacesuit crafted up. We'll get the space accessories like the oxygen mask and the oxygen gear and armor. We don't really need anything else in particular. So, well, in a parachute. Our tanks, we can just put these right into there. That's where they go. Our first little sets of tanks. Yeah, the frequency module was stage 5, so we couldn't craft that before. Empty canisters are stage 5, so we'll just have to look and make sure we don't accidentally craft anything that we're not supposed to. I mean, we're just about to hit H5, so it's not that big of a deal, I guess, but I'll just have to watch what I craft. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you guys have any questions about the stuff that we covered today, let me know down in the comments. I'll do my best to get those answered for you. Main thing, of course, being mob farming, which this is... I may change this over to, like, clear glass with castle bricks. Because, yeah, it does that where it becomes, like... It loses the invisible aspect. We've got 204 nether stars at the moment. Which isn't too bad. 1.5 thousand soul sand. I'm probably going to keep it running for a bit longer. But next episode, we'll actually hit stage 5. To where we actually start using the stage 5 stuff and everything. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button. And go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.